The portion of Miketz discusses the rise of Joseph to Paro. In Torah Or from the first Lubavitcher Rebbe, he discusses the concept of the Meitzer Hagoren, that Egypt is similar to the throat. The brain, the intellect, rules over the emotions. But there's a disconnect there, as the throat is narrower than a person's head and narrower than a person's torso. The intellect has to travel through this narrow channel to be able to affect the emotion. Inside the throat, there are three pipes: the jugular, the windpipe, and the food pipe. They are analogized by Pharaoh's three ministers: the butcher, the baker, and the cupbearer. Joseph spent time in the butcher's house and turned it into an environment that it was apparent that God was with Joseph there. While in prison, Joseph was able to overcome both the baker and the cupbearer, as it says that while in prison, God was with him there as well. So that with his three ministers having been purified and rectified, when Joseph appeared before Pharaoh, there really was no challenge. And Pharaoh himself admitted, "Is there anyone in this whole entire country like you?" What Joseph did was to burn the trail for the Jews in Egypt, that they should be able to endure the Egyptian gullus, whose purpose was in order to facilitate the getting of the Torah without actually being affected by the Torah. As we see, because of Joseph's efforts, that the Jews maintained their language, they maintained their Hebrew names, they maintained their style of dress, and no woman was violated by an Egyptian even though they were slaves. What happened then is still happening. We have the ability of controlling our emotions, controlling our passions, by bridging the gap between the intellect and the emotion and going and bypassing the three pipelines: the butcher, the baker, and the cupbearer, so that we can go out of our own personal Egypt, our own personal limitations. For the YouParsha, I'm Herschel Finman.